Hello, hello, everyone, and happy Saturday. I'm super excited to be here with you today with the fifth day of the Spotlight interviews. And today I will be spotlighting again one of the amazing speakers that will be coming on for the Cosmic Evolution Summit. Now, if you're not aware of the Cosmic Evolution Summit, which I hope by now you are, it's taking place on October 27th. It's a full day event, starts at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time and goes right through 8 p.m. Eastern Time. There are breaks after each speaker just to give me a little bit of break. So if you have not yet reserved your ticket, even though it is a free event, I recommend that you reserve your Zoom ticket so you can get into the Zoom room with us so you can get that hands-on attention with all of the speakers. Otherwise, of course, you can watch it live on the platforms that it will be on at that time. Since we will be streaming off of Zoom, it will be on the platforms of Facebook and wherever else we share. Anyway, again, for those of you who don't know who I am, because I tend to always do this last, I'm Reverend Joanne Angel Barry Cologne. I'm the founder of Holistic Fitness and why I serve and help women over 40, helping them to get strong and reminding them that weights are their friend. I'm a Reiki master, medical astrologer, master of numerology, holistic integrative teacher, card creator, and card reader, and there's so much more to me. But it's not about me today. I want you to take a moment to share out today's show, as I'm hoping I am streaming on the many platforms that I plan to be on. So I'm just going to take a look to make sure that is the case. And then we're going to get this party started. Because I'm sure many of you are sitting at the edge of your seat wanting to get to know our guest for today, our guest speaker, our interview, spotlighting. All right, if you are watching from YouTube, please go ahead and share it out. Hit the thumbs up button. And if you have not yet subscribed to my channel, please do. I'd appreciate it. And we're going to go over, I know we're already streaming on Twitter. And then we're going to go over to Facebook. And that's where I'm going to spend most of my time. So there you have it. I'm going to share it out. I see that Kitty is here with us. So hello, Kitty. And I love saying her name with the word hello. It's just so cute and fun. All right. One more share out. And then, of course, as we are live, I will then bring some other folks in to watch. So without any further delays, let me go ahead and introduce you to our spotlight interview for today, which is Sandra Pelley. She is the Inner Dragon Transformational Specialist and Life Coach. And I'm super excited to bring her on stage with us right now. Yay! And I know that somewhere along the line, the StreamYard actually does claps and applause and all that great stuff. So, Sandra, how are you today?
I am very, very excited about this. I've been watching the other ones, and if you haven't had a chance to watch the other ones, everybody, definitely come and watch them. They're incredible, absolutely incredible. What a fun way to get to know somebody. So I posted this, I streamed this also, sharing it on my platforms, so that my audience gets to know the real me a little bit more too.
Yes, and it's so interesting. If you don't mind me sharing, Sandra, before we came live, Sandra was sharing with me about a color that she's not exactly fond of, and believe it or not, that's the color I used in her name. So she was like, when she received her image, what would be the word you would like to say when you saw your name in pink?
Resisted.
So yeah, so that's an interesting question. Not so much for Sandra now, because we know that's the case, but for you guys, is there a specific color that you just don't like and you're resistant to? That would be interesting to know if that is you. So anyway, this is all about Sandra, and I want to get to know about her personally. This is about highlighting her personal life and a little bit about her professional life as well. So I will be asking her some questions because I too, like the audience, may not know her. As I've introduced and interviewed the other speakers, some of them I knew a little bit more so than others. So today, I've been following you, Sandra, on Facebook. For that matter, actually, I've been following you on TikTok.
Yeah.
I think you play more on TikTok than you do Facebook. Okay? And I do too. So, and I'm not going to even ask why, because I'm sure the obvious. Anyway, been following you on your journey. You recently been injured. And I'm kind of curious to know through that injury, what have you learned about yourself from that injury, through the injury itself and the journey of recovering? Let's talk about that.
Okay, so you said, okay, so in short, I broke ribs and also tore what's called the labrum, which is the socket that your arm sits in, and I tore underneath it. The ribs healed beautifully, the labrum not so well. It's a tear, it will take some time. In fact, it will never heal per se. I might need surgery. Having said that, it's really been a real eye-opener because I've had a lot of stuff going on in my life, and it's one of these things where I'm really recognizing that I'm grounding in different ways because of this, because now when I'm out riding my bike, I can't ride my bike the same way. So I'm recognizing I'm using my legs a lot more. So that's that recognizing I'm grounding differently. I'm really recognizing that I have to change perspectives because I have to change the way I'm doing things. I have to change the perspectives, the way of looking at things as well. I think those have been the most impactful lessons of this injury.
Yes, and I can totally relate to that. Because for me, when I had my was preparing for my hip surgery, my hip replacement, 1 month before that hip replacement, I was going to do a bodybuilding competition. Well, I did a bodybuilding competition, but preparing for that bodybuilding competition, what I used to do for my choreography, I could not do, and was really like bummed out and had to really come up with different ways to move my body so I can demonstrate and display what needs to be displayed. So can totally relate to your journey of having to really make that connection. Now, with that injury, and if you could dig that far back, and this may be something you may have to say to me, let's skip so you can reflect on it at a different time. Do you know what was going on maybe three weeks, maybe 6 weeks prior to that injury? Because what I know about, I like to refer them as metaphysical symptoms that show up. Usually there's an emotion or something that was showing up in our lives prior that made us a candidate to be open to an injury. So can you recall if there was anything going on
yes.
at the time?
Oh yeah, for sure. I was actually in a caregiving role, and it was some major things were asked of me in that. Literally a clearing out of a lot of stuff of my mom's and her husband's, and a lot of emotions came around that. On one hand, my mom has dementia. She wasn't capable of making any real decisions with regards to that. In fact, it was basically done under the cover of night, if you will, just so it wouldn't upset her. Although having said that, in seeing the house, she would not have recognized really that things were gone, but walking by her, it would have. And so about 6 weeks before, that's what I was doing.
So makes sense.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm a firm believer that, you know, when something shows up, such as an injury specifically, not necessarily pain, but an injury, it's like the universe trying to get our attention. Universe knocks slightly the first time, a little harder the second time, and boom, will knock you off your behind the third time. And that's exactly what it did to you. But I'm hoping that at this point in time, you are recovering well, you look well, and from what you've been sharing on your TikTok videos, you seem to be doing much better, yes?
Yes.
Excellent. I'm glad to hear that. Next question. Going from injury to something more exciting. What is your favorite book that you have read or you're reading, and why?
My most favorite book is actually The Big Leap by Gay Hendricks. Absolutely incredible book. For me, it was one of those life-changing books. And I mean, I could go off on a whole tangent about a part of the book that I found out afterwards. It wasn't that book at all. It was something that just dropped in because of that book. But yeah, that book, The Big Leap, was really, really critical because that's what I do in my life. And in fact, I actually have that as a book in one of my questions in one of my quizzes, is which book title do you like? And The Big Leap actually happens to be one of those because it really signifies doing something different in your life.
I love that. I love that. The next thing, when I was thinking of questions for you, it was more like intellectual questions. Next one is, what was your favorite subject in school?
Comically enough, math. Yeah, I like numbers. I like numbers. I could never go down the stream of being an accountant or something like that, but I definitely like numbers, and I'm pretty quick at numbers as well.
And do you have a favorite number?
Well, 8, but I'm an 8-8 baby.
Yes. You definitely are. So I'm loving that. You know, Loving that energy. And of course, with the 8 energy, it is all about abundance. It's about harmony. It's about all the things you're accomplishing in this lifetime. So that's a 12 for you, I think. Yes?
Yes, it does. Yes.
Excellent. All right. So who inspires you?
You know what? The people around me inspire me. You know, it's the people who continue to show up, the people who are making their way on their path, and there's a word I want to use here, regardless of what's going on in their life. It's those people who just keep showing up for themselves. Not, and it's not so much the ones that show up for others, but it's the ones who show up for themselves. I think that's really, really critical. And I mean, I could rattle off all kinds of names in my community and people you and I both know that are people who show up for themselves, and in doing that really inspire others.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's great. It's almost like a sign of resilience when you can still show up when you have things going on behind the scenes where in your mind you feel like you're falling apart, but yet you're still showing up and everyone thinks your life is wonderful.
That's right.
Yes. And sometimes that's what we have to do is it's not as though we're not being authentic. We just have to know how to put aside what we need to put aside so we can do what we came here to do.
It also comes back to what I just said when you asked me the question about the injury, right?
Yes.
Like I'm showing up and I'm also bringing those lessons into my community as well.
Yes, yes. And what I admire about you regarding your injury and showing up and continuing to get out there and doing it slightly different than what you're used to doing is the fact that you are doing it. That you didn't decide, well, okay, you know what, I'm injured. It gives me an excuse to sit on the couch, to feel sorry for myself. And even for that matter, maybe what the universe might have had this intended for you to receive help as opposed to constantly doing things on your own. So
yeah. Believe me, the spirit gets a lot more serious when they're really serious about that. That's why I broke my pelvis because I was stopped dead in my tracks. Anyway, that's a whole nother story. Thank you.
Yeah. And I'm sure even in the very beginning when you first got injured, you weren't out on your bike. You were sitting. You were getting that support and having people help you. Something that you're probably not comfortable with, where people sort of tending to you and you sitting around and they're getting things for you. Doesn't strike me to be that you're the type for that, so that too can make you very uncomfortable, which is sometimes what we need anyway. So I'm loving that. Which leads me to the next question, which I think is so appropriate. What does strength mean for you?
I think strength really flows hand in hand with the word adaptability.
Ooh.
And really, you know, when you mentioned the TikTok videos, like I'm doing a couple different types of ones all on my same channel. And one of them is a lot about my inner dragon, which we're going to learn more about in your incredible summit. However, the other part of this is that I'm actually coming on live and I'm talking about my injury and the adaptability that I have going on around it. And I think that's where strength comes in. It's recognizing how you can change things. And I love this. It seems like we're just completely saying the same thing over and over again from different angles. I love that.
And something I've noticed with most of the interviews is that one of the questions, the answer leads right into my next question, which sometimes I just think you ladies are peeking into my notebook.
Well, we're all psychics, right?
Very true, very true. In fact, the other day I was watching one of the other interviews with another person, and I literally had to change my entire question list because everything she spoke about was in my book. I was like, oh my God, everything. I had to literally go back and rearrange her questions because I'm like, now I know all this stuff about her. It's not going to be as interesting for me. So yeah, we are psychic, aren't we?
Yes.
All right. Let's see. I'm going to ask you a question that I've asked pretty much all of the interviews except for one because I haven't interviewed her just yet. And here's the big question of the day, so to speak. If you can sit with a celebrity for 30 minutes, who would it be and what would you talk about?
Yeah, you know what? It'd be Lady Di. I just admire her so much. And truly, I don't know that I would sit and talk to her about a lot of things, but I would just love um, to to give her space to express what she really wants to express, you know. And when I say that too, it's I'd love for her to know she's been heard. She's been heard.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I get a sense that she already knows that she's been heard
Yeah,
because the message that she does put out there and delivers, and it's
yeah,
just it's really heartfelt. You know,
yeah.
anytime she does her work that she does, it's like wow, it's like yes, right there. So I'm loving that, loving that for you. All right, so what is your biggest accomplishment as of today?
Man, that I'm finally figuring out this inner dragon stuff. Other than that, my biggest accomplishment, truly believe, is that I'm 61. I keep thinking I'm 60, but I'm 61, and I'm an avid mountain biker, whatever that looks like, whatever that feels like at any given moment. And I love that people can look up to me and realize that they don't have to quit at a certain age, that you can be any age you want to be and do anything you want to do. And there are people who are way more hardcore than I am and are older than I am still mountain biking and downhill biking. And I think, to me, that is my greatest accomplishment. I love mountain biking. The places it's taken me, the things I've seen, the people I've met, and the relationship that I have with my husband because of my mountain bike. Right?
Oh, love that. Yes,
Yeah.
and I love just that entire insight that you've just provided because, as you know, I'm a big advocate of keeping our bodies healthy and that age is only a number and that we don't
Yeah.
have to limit ourselves to saying, well, because I'm this age, I can't do this anymore. So I, again, admire you for getting out there and getting on your bike and doing the things that you're doing and keeping yourself theoretically young in heart. And it is, as we're learning more and more these days, it is keeping our bodies strong and healthy is really the gateway to longevity anyway. So I'm rooting that you have another blessed 30, 40 years on this earth if you wish to be here that long. So excellent, excellent. Love that.
I heard somebody say 120 years old today, that they want to live to 120. Healthy and 120 is what I heard.
Well, yes, and it's so interesting because my number is, which I've heard a spirit had given me many years back, was 106. And then I was listening to, I forget the woman's name on TikTok, and she was speaking about how the human body can literally live as long
Yeah.
as it's healthy and feeding itself healthy things. And when I use the word feeding, not just food, but all the things we're surrounded by, that we can live healthy to about 120. So I had to sit there and say, do I want to renegotiate that 106 and possibly be here as long again as I'm doing what I came here to serve? Then yes, why not? Why not? You and I will be right next to each other. How about that? How about that? Which leads me to a nice question. What legacy would you like to leave behind if you're going to be living to 120?
Yeah. And you know, for me, truly my mission is to have 1 million women empower themselves. And so with each of the people that I'm already touching and already connecting with, I know that that's already starting to snowball because of the ripple effect. And, you know, I'm not going to say that's good enough for me. I am going to continue to keep stepping into that in whatever manner I can, and being of service to others. Like it just, I feel very empowered by being of service to others. And I'm very clear of what being in service to others actually looks like, with very beautiful boundaries as well.
I love that. I do love that. And I do believe that as empowering others is a great gift in itself. And hey, if you're going to serve, why not serve with by empowerment?
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. So now, next question. What advice do you wish someone gave you when you were younger?
You know what, I often talk about two mantras, and more so the one than the other. It's this: I am love. And if I had known how to love myself when I was younger, I think I would have saved myself a lot of heartache.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
And when we think of it in that way, and the agreement and the lessons and the journey that you're here on right now, if you would have learned that early on, your journey probably would have looked very different than it does now.
Yeah, who knows? Who knows? You know, like, yeah, who knows? I don't know.
Exactly. Next thing, what's something you hope people learn from you?
To love themselves. That's my underlying message anyway, to be open with no expectations and know that they're creating the outcome. Like I am creating my outcome, but also really to love themselves.
And since we're on the word love, and although it's not one of my questions, but we're there, let's go with it. What is your love language?
My love language. I don't even know what a love language would be. I don't even know what that phrase means. When I think about a love language, I think about how I would take care of myself. And that's making sure I do my 7,500 steps a day. That's making sure that, like today, I knew I was come to speak with you, and I was in a bit of pain. And instead of just getting on the computer and getting onto doing some emails and stuff, I went and laid down and set 10 minutes on my timer. So that's my love language. It's taking care of me, and whatever that looks like is really honoring that instead of going, oh, no, I'm fine. No, it's honoring that.
Yes, yes. And it's so interesting when we talk pain, how pain does really open that gateway to show us and remind us that, you know what, it's okay to take that 10-minute break, or that, in my case today before we came on, or transparently, I took a nap. Hour and a half nap. I needed it. I was like, oh my God, I'm so tired. I have to sleep. So there we go. You and I are probably napping at the same time. Yours was a little shorter than mine, but that's all good. I love it. I love that for us. So what, let me see. We talked about that one already. If you could go anywhere in the world, where would it be and why?
Oh, there's two bucket list items. One is the Great Wall of China, and the other one is Africa to see the gorillas. And I think the gorillas, I don't even need to explain that any further. And the Great Wall of China, I don't know. It represents so much. And I don't even honestly really know why Sandra Pelley wants to go see it. I think it's something that is calling me home, or it's calling me from a past life or something, because I'm just really, really drawn to go see the Great Wall of China.
Excellent. And when the time comes when you do get to go to Africa, if you want a buddy to go with you, I'm going to volunteer her. My oldest sister has always wanted to go to Africa, probably also to go see the gorilla, because she's a big wildlife fan. She's a photographer. She spends most of the time when she's not working at all different types of zoos taking photographs. She does amazing work. So I'll keep her in mind if you decide to go.
Exactly. And between, I believe it's Jane Goodall and Diane Fossey. I think that's the two names, if I'm pronouncing them right. Between them, the chimpanzees and the gorillas, I'm hooked. I'm hooked.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Maybe I'll friend the two of you on Facebook, so this way you get to see some of her amazing photographs that she does take. And lots of gorillas and many others. Oh my God, it's amazing. Amazing. All right, let me see. I think I have a few more questions for you. All right, next one. If you can share one word with anyone you come in contact with, what would the word be? One word.
Expand.
And although the word is obvious, why? Why would that be your word?
Well, it was interesting because at first I wanted to say open, but I realized that it wasn't descriptive enough to say the word open. And when we step into an expansiveness, it's really interesting what can happen, especially if you have set up your life like I have to do things for the highest good, for the most benevolent reasons and the greatest good of all. It's really wild what happens when you choose to step into expansiveness or expand.
Yes. Yeah. Yes, I think that's beautiful, and definitely something we can all allow ourselves to do. is to allow ourselves that expansion.
Yeah.
Especially
well,
yeah.
And well, what I was just, I wanted to expand on that. What's really beautiful about that is that if you choose to expand and you are, consciously have made a choice to be in a good space, then that expansion could be that, divine source, spirit, whatever, gifts you things all the time, like the animals or the feathers or a friend or, stuff that's kind of like, I wouldn't say necessarily material, but also too, in that expansiveness, like when I was laying down, my mind's just drifting. I'm having really creative, magical ideas drop in, not only for myself, but also for other people. And I love that because it just shows how if we choose to be expansive, when we choose not to just go, oh, I just need to focus on me. And on one hand, yes, we're being asked to focus on ourselves. Yeah. However, it's not a singular focus. It's a healthy self-care focus that we're being asked to do. And from there, let that ripple effect. And so when we step into that expansiveness, that ripple effect is incredibly powerful because of what can come through on that ripple with the expansion. Thank you for letting me put that in place.
Yeah, oh, my pleasure. And when we think of what you just said about the expansion and the idea of thinking that it's selfish to think about expanding for ourselves, it's, as you said, it's not selfish at all, because as we expand, ideally it is a gateway where we're expanding ourselves, then we're connecting, we're gravitating to other people that are ready to expand or need the encouragement or the sort of push to expand. And you're the catalyst for that to happen for them. Without you doing your expansion work, then all the people who sort of leaning on you, hoping that you would, they don't get to do it.
That's right.
Or they end up going someplace else that may not be the first choice, because you would have been the first choice. If we all really understood the process behind showing up for ourselves and how important it is that there's so many people behind us waiting for us to show up. Even if it is that one word that we use, that's going to be the thing that's going to, that person, oh, Sandra's talking to me. She just said expand. She's talking to me. I need to know. I need to listen now because she used the word that I asked Spirit to say to know that she's my leader.
Oh my gosh. You know what? This is so similar to a conversation I had with someone yesterday and they were talking about, here we're talking about the word expand, but they were talking about a person's name. And if you heard that person's, like if you heard so-and-so and so-and-so, and then you heard that name's going to make you go. And that's the same with, I hear the same dynamic happening with you with this word.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. So being that you are going to be the first, the opener, the person that starts the entire summit out during the Cosmic Evolution Summit on October 27th, as your topic is about the inner dragon transformational specialist. Topic is the role of inner child and the inner dragon. I love the topic. What would you like the audience to walk away with learning through your topic?
In the immediate right here, right now, what I'd like to say is that these are parts of yourself already. The inner child is in you and the inner dragon is in you. The inner child is the protector. The inner dragon is the action taker. So if you've been doing things that you're like, oh man, I'm so glad I did that, that's your inner dragon. If you're like, oh, why am I talking like that? Why am I reacting like that? And you heard the difference in my voice, that's your inner child. So when you bring them together, that's what I want people to walk away with when they come to listen at the Cosmic Summit, because it's how these roles can actually work together and move forward in a really magical way. Because from there, you're going to come fly with the dragon, come fly with your inner dragon. And it's just so powerful.
Yes, I love that. I love that for you. So for all of our viewers watching today, and for those who are going to be watching this on replay, now you got to know all about Sandra, or a lot about Sandra, more than you knew before. And again, she will be our opening to the summit. She will be coming on at 11 a.m. until 12 p.m. Eastern Time, October 27th. And as the spotlight interviews come to an end after tomorrow, I'll be posting that up more. You'll get to see more of that information. And again, to get your tickets so you can sit in the your little Zoom room with us so you can literally ask questions and get the hands-on answers immediately. So Sandra, thank you so much for coming here and being vulnerable enough to give me permission to ask questions and to put your name in pink. No.
Yeah. Thank you. I've been honored and it's been a lot of fun. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Excellent. So I'm going to send you backstage for me to close out the show. All right, there you have it, guys. That was so much fun. Each day, each interview gets more and more fun and playful and exciting for me. So again, as I mentioned, the next Spotlight interview will be taking place tomorrow. Tomorrow is the very last Spotlight interview. I just got to get to my page. There we go. And the Spotlight interview tomorrow is with Krista. I'm not even going to try to say her last name. I will have her say her last name so I don't destroy her last name. She and I will be coming on tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. So again, please put a reminder on so you can come and learn all about Krista. She's quite interesting. She's traveled around the world, and I'm going to leave it there. This way here I don't take away some of her information. And I do look forward to seeing you all again and seeing you all on October 27th. For the Cosmic Evolution Summit, the very first summit that I am hosting. Super excited about it. Until we meet again, guys, have an amazing rest of Saturday. Until we meet again tomorrow night. Bye-bye for now.